Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with Our Crafty Playdate, and I have to tell you a funny story. So hopefully I've remembered to attach the picture in front of this video so you can see what we're doing today. I just got back from Onstage and I was making swaps. These are some samples of things that I've done, but I was making swaps and I ran out of time before I went. And so Onstage, by the way, is the Stampin' Up! Kind of convention type thing. And so I grabbed a couple of things to take with me to finish while I was there. I grabbed some parts. And of course, when I got there, I realized I had brought the wrong thing. So I meant to bring a different stamp and didn't have it. So I had to improvise with what I had in my suitcase. So I had some white paper. I had a clear block this size. Okay. I had two reinkers. Look, they're still zipped up from packing. I had two reinkers. Okay, I had Pacific Point and Bermuda Bay. I had some Pacific Point and Bermuda Bay cardstock, a couple of pieces, and I had some white. That's it. That's all I had pretty much. And I had a couple of little parts that I had cut out because I knew I wanted to use them for my swap. So I had been making swaps, sorry about that, with the Sea of Textures stamp set and the Under the Sea framelets. And so I had cut in advance a couple of things and taken parts with me. Oh, we're missing the little big one. How about that? The big one is still on my big shot. But there's one this size that's small. And then we also have a big one like that is still on my big shot. So I had a couple of these, a couple of those, a couple of these. And seriously, it all fit in a little bag. That's what I had. So I had to improvise. So here, I didn't take my stamp set, by the way. I had no stamps with me like that. Okay, so here's what I did. I looked around, I grabbed a plastic bag like this and laid it out, okay? We're not going to do that today because we'll just say it's a slight bit messy and I left an extra large tip for housekeeping. And I cleaned it up, but you know how that goes. Okay, I had some baby wipes with me too. I laid some baby wipes on here. So I'm going to show you what I did and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it here. Oh, okay, that one's completely stuck to the packaging. So the fact that I even had baby wipes was a fluke. It was a fluke. It was a leftover in my suitcase. Have you guys ever done that? You find something in your suitcase and you're like, oh, that's awesome. All right. So I just layered up a couple of baby wipes. I think I did like 3 or 4. But we're just going to do these 2 today. I layered them like this and I started dripping some of this on there. Okay, I'm going to put it, instead of being in the plastic bag, which you could do on the run, on the improv, I'm going to stick it in here in my handy dandy little compartment so that it can potentially get cleaned up easier. All right, I'm gonna add another one here. There we go. They're just laying in here. And now I'm just gonna drip some of these reinkers. If you don't use a lot of reinkers when you craft, I have been here 7 years and I think I've maybe gone through, I think I'm there on my reinkers. So they last you a long time, and what you never want to happen, and now this, okay, so that was Pacific Point, and this is Bermuda Bay. What you never want to happen is you never want to be stamping and making the most awesome project ever, and then realize that you have no reinker and your ink pad is dry, and then you have to wait, for it to ship to you. So when you buy an ink pad, just do yourself the happy favor of buying yourself the reinker. They're not expensive. You could do this cool technique. Okay, so now I've dripped this all over. So I kind of made a mess, right? You can see how intentional I am being. Super intentional. Oh, and then now I'm being blue. Okay. So what I didn't have stamps, right? I just had the stamp pad. I had stamps for another thing that I was making for my team, my gang of friends. But they were not these. They were not for my swaps. They didn't make any sense with this. So I thought, okay, I've got the net part. I've got the little, now potentially blue and green little thing. How are we gonna do this? All right, so I just took my plain block and I put it down on here. And I picked up ink and I let it slide around and mush. It's okay that it's going to mix. Look at that. Yay, texture. All right, so I did this. I took a magazine, pretend like this is a magazine because I don't have a magazine here. I took a magazine and put it down. I put my paper down. I mushed, I spread, I moved. I didn't care if I had texture. You can see the texture in the baby wipe here. That's okay. It's just added texture. Okay. And then I just took it and put the block down on my paper. You see it soaking in? And I'm not sure how much of that you can see. Every single one of these is going to be different. Okay. And then I lifted. And if I didn't like a spot, I had no qualms with just putting more down. Right? I could always add ink. So I just put my ink down and let it dry. And every single time I did it, it came out awesome and different. Okay? So don't feel weird about how yours looks, and if it doesn't look like mine, that's completely okay. None of my two look the same, and I'm seriously, I'm hoping that I remember. I'll have to watch this back before I put it up there, but I want to make sure that I remember to show you guys the stack of them that I had. None of them, do you see that soak? Yeah, I love it. To show you guys the whole stack that I had, none of them look the same. Okay, that's my personal favorite. Okay, but if you had a smaller block, how would that look? So this is how kind of my original swap was intended, and I will upload a video of the original swap later too, so that you can see it. When your top one gets really mushy, right, it's really mushed up color, and it's all kind of combining, you can just peel it back a layer and get some from the second layer too. Okay, whatever makes you happy, makes me happy. All right, so, but just the only thing is try to make sure that it's flat, because if it's super bent like that, if it's crunched up, it gives you too many weird lines. Weird lines may be what you're going for, but not what I was going for. Okay, so what I did is I did it way over here like this. Did you see that soak in? Oh, it's so fun. I love it. You can do this with the baby wipes. I don't recommend you do them with like Clorox wipes or Lysol wipes or those kinds of wipes. Okay. That's how my swap originally was supposed to look. Then it had this little stamp. Well, but this was different too. So I'll show you how I did that in another video. But this was stamped here, and then I had some of these little features. But I'm going to show you. Okay, so I had cut. Okay, now we're moving the background out of the way here. I had this. Okay, this is just this net die from the Under the Sea dies. And I wanted it to have a little shimmer. So I took my copper, it is called Copper Shimmer Paint. Okay, I took that and I put it in one of these little spritzers with some rubbing alcohol and spewed it around. And I don't want to get this all over my everything. Let's see. I had one of these big guys here too, remember? Remember when I had that way back at the very beginning? I did have a big one. Now I just have a bunch of little guys. I don't know why. Okay, but anyway, I wanted them to get a little bit of extra stuff too. So I just spray this. Ooh. I just want them to get some speckles. I don't want them to be fully immersed like I do my net. This thing is super. I need to declog. I've been gone a long time. Okay. It's a little better, but I want that guy to get pretty coppery. Okay, and then I let it dry. Because I didn't use water in here with the shimmer paint. It was just a couple drops of shimmer paint, and then the rest was rubbing alcohol. The rubbing alcohol, it does make it smell like I'm getting a flu shot in here, but it got a little thing there. But it evaporates really quickly, so it's a quick drying thing, and then you get a little bit of shine. I sprayed that on the wrong side. There we go. Okay, so, and these have just a tiny bit. This is very coppery, and this is just a little coppery. This is all going to dry and make me look like I've been disco dancing. All right, so I would put this here. I stuck this here, and the way I did this, I only had this kind of glue with me, because I'm just showing you how I improvised in my room. Okay, the copper stuff, I had already sprayed these when I went, just to be clear. All right, so I didn't have that with me. I took my glue and I just hoped it worked. Oh, you guys, do you love me? Am I just too crazy for you all? All of these glues, by the way, work. They're just all clogged because I get, look at that, disreputable. I get excited and I start doing something and then I get distracted. I know you can't imagine that from watching my videos. All right, so I just put glue kind of where some joints are. This, seriously, it's not going to be, remember the commercial for the glue that used to hold the little construction worker guy up by his hat? I don't need that much glue on here. Okay, this is not going to be life support for anybody. It's just a tiny bit. See that on there? I just need it to stick down. I'm going to stick that right there like that and just hold it for a second. Hold it for a second. I also had with me some mini dimensionals because who goes anywhere without them? I carry, by the way, a little tool case like this. My friend made me this 100,000 years ago. It's a wood mount stamp case. And in it, I will take a green glue, sometimes a snail if I remember, a pair of snips, okay, some glue dots, and some dimensionals. That's usually all I carry, and I pretty much carry those everywhere I go. Okay, so I stuck that down. Oh, here it is. Look, but I didn't get any copper on it. Let's do this. Oh, he's going to be super coppery. Okay, so I did that. I took my mini dimensionals. I just pull up a couple onto my finger like this so that I can be more efficient. And I stuck them on here, and I did, you know, like maybe 2 on the little guy, 1 on the big guy. The big guy. It's funny. Okay, hold on. All right. I will be sharing a lot of videos with you in the next couple of weeks because look at that. Oh, so adorable. Because I am so inspired by everything that I learned and saw at Onstage, and I'm going to teach you how to do some of the cool things that they did. You should also check out my Facebook. If you're a subscriber here and you're also on Facebook, you should definitely join my, like my Facebook page, Our Crafty Playdate, and then join my group so I can see what you make. You can upload your stuff. Same name. Everything's the same name. I also had some pearls with me because I needed them for one of the gifts that I was making for my other people that I didn't have time to finish. So I had these with me, and I just did this so that it would look like bubbles. I think I did, you know, a couple of big guys. And I did not have my take your pick tool with me because I'm silly. So that's why I'm showing you with my scissors. But now I would definitely use my take your pick because seriously, it's way easier than this to get your stuff done. If you don't know what take your pick is, go to my store and check it out. Maybe I'll link it below so you can kind of see. And I just added, and I try to add an odd number. Okay, so I do 3 or 5. Okay, and that was my card. And since I had the blue and green that I matched the re-inkers, look at that. Isn't that fun? So it would seriously go on either one. And I audition. So when I make a couple of these, because they are all so different, I would put it there and say, no, I don't like that one on there. No, I don't like that one on there. You know, I would just figure out which one it was that I liked. I don't know where I did. Didn't I make a little guy? I did. I don't know where I put it. Okay. Anyway, you don't care. You don't need to know this. You don't need to know my problems, my personal problems about where I lost stuff. Okay, so I would just go ahead and make a card. And you saw how fast this was, right? Stem to stern. If you were going to make some of these, just cut the paper in advance. These are the colors that I used in the rest of my swaps that I'll show you. And I cut a bunch of these. That way I could audition as I went. And this card, it is done. All right, so I would do a little liquid glue like that. That's all you need. It looks like you need a lot, but really, that is it, guys. You do not need to go crazy. And I would stick this on here. And that card is done. So if you got this card at Onstage, it was from me. I ran out of, it was crazy. I ran out of business cards right away. Even though I took a big stack, I ran out of them pretty quickly, and then I didn't have anything to stick in the back. So this is the card. I would definitely put a white piece in here, and maybe I would do a little squiggly something, maybe from that stamp set, the Tide stamp set, on here to make it look a little oceany. And that's it. And I think it's super elegant and beautiful and really not that hard. When you do this, go ahead and make a bunch of these. And it doesn't have to be blue green for ocean, guys. Let me just tell you, this is pretty in reds and oranges. Just get them so that they're colors that look kind of nice together. So that they're not fighting each other, because they are going to mishmash together a little. So I love purple and green together, but if you did that on here, I think you would be sad ultimately. Okay. That's all I've got for you today. I hope that you learned a new cool technique today. And I also hope that you learned that whatever you have with you, you can make it work craft-wise and still make something gorgeous. So carry a little bit around with you and be sure that you experiment. And if you do, please subscribe here, like my Facebook page, and also join my Facebook group. Okay, my group, you can upload your pictures on my group page, and then we can all ooh and ah over your fabulous creations. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you do not have an online Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours, and I will link the address below, and you can see it there. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.